$12. I want you to let that specific, horrifying, absolutely mind-boggling number sink into your brain for just a second. $12. That is the price of a fast food combo meal. That is less than the price of a standard movie ticket in America. That is less than 2 cups of premium coffee at your local cafe. And yet right now, in the year 2026, $12 is the undeniable real-time market price to walk through the doors of a professional basketball arena to watch the single most famous, economically powerful, and culturally transcendent female athlete on the entire planet. But here is the part that should send a cold, paralyzing shiver down the spine of every single executive in the WNBA front office. Even with a price tag that practically screams charitable giveaway, even with tickets going for $12 and $13, when the Indiana Fever took the hardwood against the Nigerian national team this past weekend, Gainbridge Fieldhouse was plagued with glaring, undeniable, aggressively embarrassing empty seats. And we are not just talking about a few scattered absences way up in the nosebleeds. We are not talking about people showing up late because of traffic. We are talking about massive blocks of seats. We are talking about entire rows, whole sections, completely and totally devoid of human life. The network television cameras desperately tried to hide it. The broadcast directors tried to keep the angles tight. But they failed. The overhead shots leaked, and almost instantaneously, social media weaponized those images, turning a preseason exhibition game into the loudest, most financially devastating statement the Caitlin Clark fan base has ever made. Welcome back to WNBA She Serves. You already know exactly why you clicked on this video. If you are tired of the mainstream media networks feeding you corporate-approved fluff, if you are sick of the PR spin, and if you want the raw, unfiltered, uncompromising truth about the business and the basketball of the WNBA, you have found your sanctuary. Grab a seat, lock in, turn your volume all the way up, because today we are taking a surgical scalpel to an unprecedented fan boycott. We are exposing the catastrophic roster depth crisis that triggered this financial rebellion. And we are breaking down the rapidly approaching do-or-die ultimatum that could permanently alter the financial future of the Indiana franchise. This is not a scheduling anomaly. This is a highly coordinated, brilliantly executed financial declaration of war against an organization that has fundamentally taken its consumers for granted. Let us immediately put these attendance numbers into strict, undeniable mathematical perspective, because the historical context is what makes this current situation so incredibly alarming. Let us take a trip down memory lane to 2024, Caitlin Clark's historic, record-shattering rookie season. Do you remember what that looked like? The Indiana Fever averaged an astonishing 17,036 fans per game. Gainbridge Fieldhouse was sold out, packed to the absolute rafters, every single night. The consumer demand was so historically insane, so unprecedented in the history of women's sports, that opposing road teams were frantically picking up the phone and relocating their home games to massive NBA-sized arenas, just to accommodate the tidal wave of ticket requests. Caitlin Clark was not just a basketball player. She was the biggest traveling economic stimulus package in American sports. Fast forward to 2025. A completely meaningless exhibition game in Iowa City was packed to the literal ceiling. Fans were paying premium, exorbitant prices just to watch her stretch in warm-ups. They treated her like a rock star. But on Saturday night, against the 8th-ranked Nigerian national team, with premium lower bowl seats priced like a cheap lunch, the building transformed into a ghost town. Now the mainstream media pundits will aggressively lie to you. They will look right into the camera and say, "Oh, it was just a preseason game. Oh, Saturday nights in May are busy. People have graduation parties." But here at WNBA She Serves, we know the absolute truth. The stark, terrifying difference between those sold-out arenas of the past and Saturday's empty blue seats is the rapidly deteriorating, highly toxic mood of a fan base that has officially reached its breaking point. the Caitlin Clark fanbase is locked in a high-stakes Cold War with the Indiana Fever front office. And this financial rebellion is not an accident. It is the direct result of months of perceived disrespect, bizarre coaching decisions, and sheer executive incompetence. Let us retrace the steps of this disaster. It started way back in the offseason, when the coaching staff inexplicably started talking about utilizing the greatest primary ball handler in college basketball history as an off-ball player. It escalated when executives grabbed microphones and labeled legitimately concerned fans as complainers. It intensified when management tried to transition known defensive liabilities into combo guards instead of going out and signing legitimate, battle-tested veteran talent in free agency. But the tension reached an absolute volcanic boiling point the morning after the Fever lost by a humiliating 15 points to the Dallas Wings. Let us talk about that Dallas game, because it is the Rosetta Stone for understanding this entire boycott. In that game, Caitlin Clark was masterful. She put up 21 points on an incredibly efficient 66% shooting. She looked like the MVP. But the exact second she went to the bench for a breather, the team completely, totally, and embarrassingly collapsed. When Caitlin Clark sat in the second quarter, the Fever were outscored 36-7. I want to repeat that so you understand the sheer magnitude of the failure. 36-7. A highly competitive professional basketball game turned into a junior varsity blowout the moment the main engine was turned off. Supermax veteran Kelsey Mitchell shot an abysmal 4 of 12 and registered a horrific -18 in the plus-minus column. Key role players coming off the bench scored exactly 0 points. It was a structural collapse of epic proportions. And how did the Indiana Fever public relations team respond to this devastating, depth-exposing loss? Did they take accountability? Did they promise to get back in the gym and fix the glaring issues? No. They posted a tone-deaf, artificial intelligence-generated hype video. They literally fed their fiercely loyal, highly intelligent fan base computer-generated slop instead of addressing the glaring existential crisis happening on the actual basketball court. That was the final straw. That was the moment the camel's back snapped in half. The fans warned this organization for 3 straight weeks that they would speak with their wallets. And on Saturday night against Nigeria, they delivered that message with ruthless, terrifying efficiency. They made a deliberate, conscious choice to stay home. They decided to stop rewarding a franchise that takes their time, their passion, and their money for granted. The undeniable root of this anger is the catastrophic lack of roster depth. The modern sports consumer is brilliant. They understand analytics, they watch the film, and they are absolutely refusing to pay NBA-level prices to watch a depleted, poorly constructed roster fail at basic basketball the exact second their superstar steps off the floor. When fans see a team lose by double digits at home, despite a dominant performance from their franchise player, they start questioning reality. They wonder if the front office actually knows how to build a championship contender, or if they just got incredibly lucky with a #1 overall draft pick and completely failed to surround her with WNBA-level talent. $12 tickets are exactly what the free market believes this roster is worth when Caitlin Clark is not playing superhero for 40 straight minutes a night. Now, to be completely fair and objective, Saturday's game against Nigeria did answer some tactical questions. Credit where credit is strictly due. Aaliyah Boston made her highly anticipated return to the hardwood, and she immediately changed the entire geometry of the court. She racked up 6 assists in just 10 minutes of action, posting a staggering +21 rating. If you stretch those numbers to 36 minutes, Boston drops 21 assists as a center. We are talking about a Nikola Jokic-style offensive hub. Kelsey Mitchell bounced back with a flawless 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Rookie Michaela Timpson was absolute perfection in her minutes. The starting lineup's ball movement was crisp, and the Fever ultimately won in a massive 105-57 blowout. But, and this is a massive, flashing neon but, If you look closely at the box score in the second half, the depth issues reared their ugly head again. When the Fever went to the deep end of their bench, putting players like Hines Allen, Dantas, and Raven Johnson on the floor, the Nigerian national team played them practically even. In the third quarter, the Fever only outscored Nigeria 15-12, 18-16 in another stretch. We have been preaching about the need for depth, length, and size for months. And when the backups are struggling to pull away from an international team in an exhibition game, the red flags do not disappear. They just get larger. But here is the devastating reality of consumer psychology. The fans who stayed home on Saturday night, the ones who refused to buy those $12 tickets, they did not see that redemption arc. They did not see the flawless ball movement from Aliyah Boston. They only saw the Dallas disaster a few days prior. They read the scathing commentary online, and they collectively decided that $12 was still too high a price to pay to financially support a front office they no longer trust. The Indiana Fever suffer from a potentially fatal confidence gap. The fans do not trust the general manager's vision. They do not trust the coaching staff's rotational management. And they absolutely do not trust the bench to hold a lead when the starters need oxygen. And here is the pricing detail that should have the Fever's accounting department in a full-blown panic attack right now. Listen to this math. Preseason tickets were $12. But the regular season opener against the Dallas Wings on May 9th, a nationally televised game, tickets on the primary market start at $97. That is an 800% markup. Let me be very clear about how business works. If your fans are visibly boycotting the arena at $12, if they are leaving entire sections empty for the price of a value meal, the front office is mathematically delusional to assume they will blindly fill that building at $97 a pop. Do the math on the financial hemorrhage. If you lose 5,000 fans at that $97 price point, that is nearly $500,000 evaporating in a single night. If that apathy stretches over a 20-game home schedule, you are looking at $10 million vanishing into thin air. $10 million. This is no longer just a public relations crisis. It is a massive, franchise-altering financial hemorrhage. There is only one cure for this level of fractured trust. No marketing campaign can fix this. No promotional t-shirt giveaway can fix this. And certainly no AI-generated hype video is going to fix this. The only cure is winning, and winning dominantly. May 9th against the Dallas Wings, on national television. That is the moment of truth. That is Judgment Day for the Indiana Fever front office. If the Indiana Fever come out on May 9th and ruthlessly dominate the opener with a fully healthy roster, if Caitlin Clark initiates the offense with lethal precision, if Aliyah Boston anchors the paint like a defensive god, and most importantly, if the bench actually holds the lead when the starters sit down, the narrative shifts overnight. Ticket sales spike, the free market corrects itself, and the fan base aggressively re-engages. One dominant, flawless win acts as a miraculous cure-all in professional sports. But consider the apocalyptic alternative. What happens if they lose? What happens if Caitlin Clark drops 30 points, hits logo threes, and does everything in her superhuman power, but the supporting cast collapses again? What happens if the defense gives up 30-point quarters? And worst of all, what happens if the building is noticeably, embarrassingly empty on national television? Because the hardcore fans flat out refuse to pay $97 for a deeply flawed product. If that nightmare scenario unfolds, this anger becomes something far more destructive. It evolves. Anger is at least an emotion. It means the fans still care. But if they lose on May 9th, that anger turns into apathy. Fans will simply stop caring. They will stop commenting on the posts. They will stop watching the broadcasts. They will permanently close their wallets, cancel their season tickets, and find something else to do on a Tuesday night. And apathy is the single, incurable disease that no professional sports franchise can survive. WNBA She Serves has warned the league about this impending disaster for weeks. The fans are not bluffing. The empty blue seats and the $12 price tags proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Indiana Fever have exactly 1 week to fix this catastrophic disconnect. And the only accepted currency for an apology from this front office is an absolute, undeniable blowout victory on May 9th. The clock is ticking, the pressure is suffocating, and the entire basketball world is watching. This is WNBA She Serves. We are the only channel on this platform willing to look the establishment in the eye and tell you the harsh, unfiltered financial truths that the mainstream media is absolutely terrified to touch. If you want the deepest, most uncompromising, high-energy basketball content on the internet, do not just sit there. Smash that subscribe button right now and join the family. Hit the like button to feed the algorithm and force YouTube to push the truth to the masses. And most importantly, I need to hear from you. Drop your unfiltered, brutally honest take in the comments section below. Are you buying tickets for the season opener at $97? Or are you keeping your wallet firmly closed until this front office proves they can actually build a championship-caliber team around Caitlin Clark? Who is to blame for the depth issues? Is it the GM, the coach, or the players? I want every single theory and every single opinion down in that comments section. Hit the notification bell, because opening night is exactly 1 week away. The financial stakes have literally never been higher, and this fan standoff is about to reach its absolute climax. We will see you on the next breakdown. Keep your eyes on the court.